Hello everyone, good morning to everyone. Hello everyone, good morning to everyone. So today is 8th August 2026. Let's start the Hindu analysis. And in the last lecture, like yesterday, I gave you at the end 2 questions. We'll discuss that and then we'll go to the main agenda of the day. Cool. So you can download these Hindu analysis PDF from this Telegram channel, Fun Study with Shubh. And what else, guys? So yesterday, which two questions I gave you people? Just give me a second. So this was first question related to Gobardhan scheme. And we have talked about, yesterday we also discussed this, that how this particular Gobardhan scheme is different from the Gobardhan scheme launched earlier. What are the things, good morning Jivayan, what are the things which make the current Gobardhan or Gobardhan better than the previous Gobardhan? We have talked about CBG, compressed biogas, difference between biogas and natural gas which has higher content of methane. So do revise that particular thing. That will help you in understanding things in a better manner. How more money is allocated under Gobardhan, how earlier in the previous Gobardhan it was all about waste management, how we can recycle or reuse those waste. This current Gobardhan goes beyond that. So yeah, important scheme. So what is the answer of this particular question? So Jivayan has given the answer for both of them. Very good, Jivayan. So the answer, which of the following is not a feature of National Circular Bioenergy Scheme, Gobardhan? And the answer is free LPG cylinders of rural household. This is not the feature of National Circular Bioenergy Scheme. So this particular free LPG cylinder, exactly not free LPG, but some aspects you get in Ujjwala scheme. And we have also talked about, there they give you free LPG connection, not exactly the whole cylinder per se. And then I have told you that you do a comparative analysis of Ujjwala scheme as well as Ujala scheme. Ujala scheme is about LED bulbs and all, energy efficient. On the other hand, Ujjwala scheme is about free LPG connection. And there are talks related to whether Ujjwala scheme, in this current age when there is scarcity of LPGs and all, how efficient Ujjwala is, like actually rather. So again, we'll have a discussion on Ujjwala and Ujala later on as well. National Handloom Day. This was the first article of yesterday, based on the editorial which was written by Union Minister, if I'm not wrong, Giriraj Singh sir. So which of the following best explains the significance of National Handloom Day? Jivan has given the answer of this question, and UPSC has already asked a PYQ on this, which we also discussed yesterday. So National Handloom Day commemorates the launch of Swadeshi movement in 1905, 7th August. Yesterday was 7th August, right? 7th August 1905, Swadeshi movement was launched. Swadeshi and boycott. When you see UPSC PYQs, you will realize Swadeshi, boycott, partition of Bengal. So many questions have been asked by UPSC from this particular segment, so to say, of modern history. Swadeshi, boycott, partition of Bengal. Many PYQs. Similarly, if you want to see a pattern, a trend in modern history related to these areas from where they ask more questions, there is Lahore session, December 1929. From there also they have asked a lot of questions. Cool. So let's start the discussion. The answer of this is D as well. So 10D, 11D as stated by Jivayan. Now let's move on to, let's come to the present and let's talk about the first article. Page 1 GS2 IR, international relation. So now earlier Pakistan and Saudi Arabia, they had a deal, and the deal is very similar to the NATO deal. Attack on one is attack on all. So Pakistan and Saudi Arabia rather, they earlier had a deal that attack on one is attack on us both. And many people in Indian, basically that was targeted against Israel, because at that time Israel had become very, it's still very active when it comes to the military aspects of Israel. So Pakistan, Saudi Arabia deal, attack on one is attack on both. So let's say India attack Pakistan. In that case, whether Saudi Arabia will attack India, that was the question which we were asking earlier. Now from bipartite agreement, it has become a tripartite or tripartite agreement. Now Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey, I like the earlier name Turkey, they have come together. They have inked this defense deal. And again, what will be the implication? This particular agreement, this deal is known as Makkah Joint Defense Agreement. So do remember, things are changing. In West Asia, things are changing. What implication it will have for India? Again, Turkey has joined this particular deal, and Turkey is saying that it is not against any particular country right now. Earlier, when we had seen the Pakistan-Saudi Arabia deal, we had seen it was somewhat directed towards Israel, not India. Now the current Pakistan-Saudi Arabia-Turkey is more directed towards Iran, because Iran and its proxy powers like Houthis of Yemen, they have attacked Saudi Arabia. So Pakistan, Saudi Arabia and Turkey. Pakistan, it has nuclear weapon. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia, one of the wealthiest countries in West Asia, if not the world. Turkey is a NATO member and it wants to exercise power in West Asia. Do remember these things. UPSC can ask you that Turkey is not a part of NATO. In Argentina, worst economic crisis happened in 2023. Good morning, Malini, and all those stuff. So do remember, or Sudan, there is fight between military forces and paramilitary forces. All these things are correct. So these are some facts which you have to keep in mind. Again, yes, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, earlier deal was directed against Israel. Yes, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, current deal is directed against Iran. But we shouldn't be discounting the fact that it will have implications for us as well. You know, like Pakistan is also now acting as a mediator between US and Iran. So India should not be looking at it lightly. Things are escalating in West Asia. So you can see here, attack on one country will be considered an attack on all three. Earlier it was attack on one is attack on us both. And similar kind of provision is there in NATO as well, of which Turkey, earlier named Turkey was better, is a member. The agreement comes amid the ongoing conflict and security tension in West Asia. Again, you can see the things. We have talked about axis of resistance of Iran time and again. Every day, every second day, this axis of resistance comes into picture. Axis of resistance means although Iran may not be as powerful militarily as, let's say, Saudi Arabia or Pakistan, but it has proxy, entities in different regions. Like it has Houthis in Yemen, it has Hamas in Gaza, it has Hezbollah in Lebanon. And whenever some issues happen in these regions, it invokes, it prompts these powers or tells these powers to do stuff. And they are doing stuff for Iran or on behalf of Iran, because Iran is the leader of Shia world and Saudi Arabia is the leader of Sunni world. We will talk about all those things, Shia Sunni issue as well. Saudi Arabia has faced attacks from Iran and the Iran-backed Houthis. What are the things which are actually important? From exam perspective, we'll talk about it. Pakistan, Saudi Arabia already had a defense agreement. We have talked about it. And now Turkey has also joined it. Again, they are continuously saying that it is not aimed at any particular country, but India has to be very vigilant in this regard, how things are changing. If one of the, again, you can see all these things, we have discussed this. Agreement is called Makkah Joint Defense Agreement. In UPSC, in other exam, they can ask you which countries are part of this particular agreement called Makkah Joint Defense Agreement. Collective defense and collective deterrence. What is deterrence? Defense is fine. We will be defending each other. Deterrence means because we are coming together, it will send a message to other countries that you cannot attack us, because attack on one is attack on all three. So these are the people and these are influential people who are signing this particular agreement. Mohammed bin Salman, Erdogan, Shehbaz Sharif. So yeah, let's keep, let's see how this whole thing develops, whether more countries join it or not. And then India has to look at this whole thing proactively, because you can see Saudi Arab. We have good relations with Saudi Arab. We have a huge diaspora in West Asia. When you read about diaspora in GS2, you talk about different kind of diaspora, like the diaspora which we have in North America. It gives us political stability. Political stability means US, Canada, especially US, the diaspora which is there, they play a crucial role in influencing the policies of US, like Israeli diaspora, a very huge say in North American and even world politics. So North American Indian diaspora gives us political stability. This West Asian diaspora, where you're talking about Saudi Arabia, even Iran, so to say, they give us economic stability. Why? Because a large amount of remittances come from this particular region, West Asia, when you talk about from Indian perspective. Good morning, Apex. And the third part is like the diaspora which we have in Fiji, which we have in Mauritius, etc. They give us cultural stability. If you go to Fiji, you will see Indian culture, which is 200 years old, or like they went back to Fiji, our Indians, as endangered laborers, and they preserved our culture. Right now in India, we have witnessed globalization, this and that, westernization and all. Sometimes we forget our own culture, but you go to Fiji and you will see that 200 years old Indian culture. So that's how they're giving us cultural stability. So we are understanding in that regard, if you see the West Asian diaspora and all these things happening in West Asia, we should be more vigilant, because it will impact us sooner rather than later. Let's have a look at this particular question asked by UPSC in 2024. Sir, please explain what is diaspora. So what is diaspora? Diaspora is Indian people or Indian origin people living in different parts of the world. So, let's say Kerala. In Kerala, there are many nurses of Kerala who go to West Asia and they work there, and then they send back the money. The money they send back is called as remittances, and the people of India or Indian origin who are outside India, they are diaspora. Now, diaspora can be of different types, like you have NRI, non-resident Indians, you have PIO, persons of Indian origin. Basically, it has merged with OCI now, OCI, PIO. Earlier, they were different, now they are same, not different. So, NRI, PIO, OCI. So, these are different types of diaspora group. Hope you are understanding, Jivayan. So, please teach from basics. Being a beginner, it's difficult to understand. Anything NLSIU Bangalore, if you don't understand, just ask. Just like Jivayan asked, what is diaspora? This is a very basic question, diaspora, GS2. And also, NLSIUB, please guys, if you're preparing for UPSC, go through your syllabus. You will see each and every term. Any term you have difficulty, write it in the comment section. That's why we are having it live. Otherwise, we can always have it recorded. Ask your doubts. Don't think it will be stupid. What will other people think? You're not here for that. Cool. So we are keeping it basics. NLSIUB. Any queries, any doubts, please ask. Please ask. Don't stop yourself. Cool, sir. So now let's have a look at this particular question. Again, this question may look tough, but we have discussed about all the terms. And this is not the first time we are discussing this PYQ, nor it will be the last time. Have a look at this question, guys, and try to solve it. 2024 UPSC PYQ. Welcome, Jivayan. So you have Argentina, you have Sudan, you have Turkey. Argentina, Sudan, Turkey, and they're asking, in 2024 they were in news. Turkey is in news right now also, right? And now this is the toughest pattern in UPSC. This is the toughest pattern. If you're not getting this particular question correct, that's totally fine, but this pattern is not easy. So Argentina, Sudan, Turkey rescinded its membership of NATO. Basically, they're trying to say that, Jivan has given the answer, they're trying to say that Turkey has given their membership of NATO. We have just seen Turkey is a NATO member. So third is wrong. If third is wrong, that means all three pairs cannot be correct. Now you're left with only one, only two, or D. Even in this, you can do some option elimination. Sudan, war between countries, regular army and paramilitary forces. If you're currently also following, current affairs, Sudan always remains in news. Their Apex has also given the answer. Their paramilitary force, their regular army, they are fighting, civil war happened, coup happened. UPSC has asked multiple questions on Sudan now. So yes, second is also correct. So second is correct. So if second is correct, now none of the pairs cannot be the answer. You are left with A and B. Only one pair or only two pairs. So now, Argentina worst economic crisis. I have just told you when we were discussing it at the start, yes, in 2024, they had one of the worst economic crisis. So first is correct. And the answer is B, only two pairs. Again, it's a tricky question, guys. It's a tough question and you have to revise these PYQs. That also tells you what are the topics which are actually important from UPSC perspective, because there is no end to current affairs, so to say. Have a look at this MCQ2. Consider the following countries: Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey. Which of the above are parties to Makkah Joint Defense Agreement? One and two, B, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, D, 1, 2 and 3. Oh, just give me a second, guys. Jivayan Apex Night. Malini. All of you have given the answer. Great, great, great. So Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, all three are part of this Makkah Joint Defense Agreement. Cool. See this particular question. MCQ 3. The principle of collective deterrence as mentioned in the agreement most appropriately implies what? Yes. I am trying to take care of that. Okay. NLS IUB Bangalore, you have also given the answer. Great. Just give me a second, guys. Let me call some. Jivan has given the answer for MCQ 3. Okay, Jivan, can you see this? The left side, some words may not be missing now. That issue has been rectified by our studio team. Morning Cloud Shinobi, I think it's fine now. Let me go a little upwards. Yeah, thank you, Bhaiya. Cool, cool, cool. So the principle of collective deterrence. Deterrence. So what is we have seen there are two major concepts of this particular agreement: defense and deterrence. Defense, they are coming together. Deterrence means because they are coming together, now other countries will think before attacking any one of them. Cool, 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 Jivan. So here the countries seek to discourage attacks by presenting a united security response. That is the basic meaning of collective deterrence. Next editorial, page 8. GS3 economy, UPI. Now government is considering, and what is your view on this, guys? Welcome, it's a line. Cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So now what is your view, guys, on this particular thing? Tell me your personal views. So currently government is thinking about, because we do UPI transaction, right? There are terms like UPI, mobile wallet. I will ask you some questions, do tell me. So government is thinking, and when you're doing these transactions on UPI, there is no extra charges which you are giving, right? But government is thinking about bringing extra charges because the whole machinery on which UPI is means running and all, they are costing money to different entities, to merchants and all, and they are not very happy. Government is currently subsidizing. Government has, subsidized these. Government is providing help of certain amount. It's not like it's government money, it's taxpayers' money. But something has to be done, and they are thinking about levying charges on UPI. How many of you actually confused between B and C? No issues, Jivan. How many of you actually support this government initiative that a charge should be levied on UPI transaction? This editorial is saying that if it happens, people will go back to cash. The earlier system will come back. Like right now, what is the scenario? The scenario is we don't even carry a lot of cash with us, maybe 100, 200, 300. We don't need to. Anywhere and everywhere you can use UPI. But in India, people are very price sensitive. So even if 1 rupee extra you have to give on 19 rupee thing which you are doing UPI, people will move back to cash. So this is the big problem. The whole financial inclusion, digital inclusion which we had, achieved, it can backtrack or it can go southward. That's what this article is saying. So let's have a look at this. And then there are other terms. Guys, tell me one thing. UPI and mobile wallet, are they same or different? What do you have to say about that? UPI mobile wallet, same or different? If there is any difference, what is the difference between UPI and mobile wallet? Also, Google Pay, Paytm, are they mobile wallets? What they are? You have to understand these terms because just like we have seen on Turkey, UPSC has asked a PYQ. Similarly, UPSC has asked PYQs on UPI as well. Unified Payment Interface. NPCI is managing it. And it's free right now, but government can charge and government is seriously considering it. They are making changes in taxation law. They are bringing taxation and other law amendment bill 2026. And it was passed without a debate because opposition is asking for statement from Amit Shah sir regarding the excessive pallet gun use and other things which were done on student protest. UPI is part of mobile wallet, sir. Anybody? See, understand one thing. Many people get confused, guys. They feel like GPay, Google Pay, Paytm, they are mobile wallets. See, what is mobile wallets? There was one question which was asked by UPSC in 2017 that what is the major benefit of using UPI? Maybe 2017 or some other year. And we will talk about it. The major benefit is you don't have a compulsion to do mobile wallets or use mobile wallets. Let's try to understand it. Mobile wallet is, I will give you an example. Let's say Amazon, if you use Amazon Pay. So there you will see a wallet. In wallet, what happens? You transfer your money from your bank account to this wallet. They will say that, if you want to do Zomato or Blinkit and all, have some money in this wallet. So that is a wallet. That is a separate thing. On the other hand, Google Pay, Paytm, they are intermediaries via which you use UPI. So they are not exactly wallet. Under this Google Pay, Paytm can have a separate wallet, just like Amazon Pay has a wallet. So UPI or these Google Pay, Paytm rather, they are not mobile wallets, guys. Please understand this thing. This is actually important. Mobile wallet means smart money or soft money like e-banking. Let me rewind what I just told you. GPay, Paytm, even Amazon and all, Amazon Pay, they are intermediaries via which you are using UPI. What is UPI? In UPI, different bank accounts are connected. So you don't have to store or take out money from your bank account and store it somewhere. When you are taking out money from your bank account and you are storing it somewhere, that somewhere is known as wallet, mobile wallet. Like even Amazon has Amazon wallet. Even I think Paytm has Paytm wallet. In the case of but you have an option now on Google Pay, Paytm that you don't store your money in your wallet. You directly do transaction through UPI. So in that scenario, Google Pay, Paytm, etc., they are becoming an intermediary via which you are doing your UPI transaction. Please understand this. This is actually important. Before we talk about this whole issue, first of all, the basic rationale of UPI, Unified Payment Interface, digital payment system in India, where you are transferring money directly from one bank account to another. Using apps like Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, Bheem, these are intermediaries. Inside these intermediaries, these are intermediaries via which you are using UPI. Inside these intermediaries, you can have mobile wallets. It could weaken one of India's major digital public infrastructure, according to Apex Knight. So how many of you support, how many of you feel that no, government has to earn money, sir? So taxing UPI or additional charges on UPI, we are willing to do it. Anything for our government. How many of you have that view? So you buy something for 500, you scan the QR code, pay 500 through UPI, it goes from your bank account to the merchant's bank account. There is no need for an intermediary wallet. But sometimes we store it because, I don't know. Sometimes we store our money in Amazon wallet or this and that. So UPI is operated by NPCI. So this is the basic rationale of UPI. You don't have to transfer money. If you don't want to use wallet, mobile wallet, there is no need for you to use mobile wallet. So government is trying to reduce subsidy allowed for UPI. Now the argument in this editorial which has been given is, government is already paying. I will show you some amount. The concern is, see, UPI has been free since 2020. And what government is doing, see, around 11,349 crore has already been paid by government. Government already gives subsidies to banks, payment companies for processing some UPI transaction. 11,349 crore government has given to these, because you have to maintain these portals and all. So there is money involved, even if we are not paying extra money, but there is cost involved. This is not government's money. This is our money only. So now the question which this editorial is asking is, why should consumer merchants pay a new charge when we are already supporting UPI? Already 12,000 crore, around more than 11,000 crore we have paid, and government is paying to these companies. So why additional charge now? Because again, in the current law and all, they have also sanctioned more than 1,000 crore for this. So it's not government's money, it's our money, it's taxpayers' money. So again, if you are already taking out that money to pay them, why are you asking us to pay again? It doesn't make any sense. So there are different questions which has been asked. I still haven't got the answer from other people. What is your view? Should we tax UPI? Or you are like, nah, sir, it's fine. Government is considering allowing charges on some UPI transaction, but no final decision has been taken. But the way government is going, it seems like they will take some final decision sooner or later. They have made amendment to Payment and Settlement System Act, which was majorly governing UPI. They have introduced another taxation and other law amendment bill. They are having discussion on it. It was passed in Lok Sabha. Now it will go to Rajya Sabha. So government is doing things at a very faster pace. So there has to be some reason why they are thinking about it. So initially charges may apply only to large merchants and transactions above 2,000. But in these changes which they have made in these acts and bills, there is provision that government can later change it, that it will be applicable for all transactions, not only transactions above 2,000 rupees, right? So currently the provision is like, again, it has not yet been decided. Maybe government is looking at, at the ground, what most people are saying. No, sir, most people not using UPI only, not using UPI. Everyone, each one of us is using UPI some way or the other. GYN. But yes, you may say that not many people will be comfortable with this whole UPI thing. Concern is that merchants may pass the charges to, and government is currently saying that no, people will not have to pay. These merchants, these guys who has, and there are conditions also, they will pay. Customers will not pay. But you think of a scenario, simple scenario. You went to a guy, you bought something, and they'll be like, no, you have to give 1 rupee, 2 rupee extra because we pay extra amount to the above. So they will push it or pass it on to the customer. This is not the first time it will happen. It has happened in the past as well. UPI has been free since 2020, but let's see, based on the way things are happening, changes made to Payment and Settlement System Act, new bill has been passed in Lok Sabha without any debate. All these things are saying, means, giving indication that UPI transactions will be charged sooner rather than later. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said charges could help companies invest in better infrastructure, innovation and security. The question is, you have already paid more than 11,000 crore. You have again sanctioned more than 1,000 crore. So why pay, why ask consumers to pay more? Article suggests another option. See, RBI has surplus money. Government keeps on taking out money from RBI. The other option which this editorial is giving government is, first thing first, you shouldn't be taxing us. You're already taking taxpayers' money to pay these merchant wallets and merchant people and the people up above the interface. The second thing is, you take out money, excess money from RBI. Maybe use some of that money to fund UPI. Don't ask people to pay again. I mean, why they implement charges and reduce? Okay. And yes, that is one thing which many people are saying, that once this is introduced, people will go back to cash. And the problem with cash is, it does not leave a digital trail. Generally, what happens when you are in a cashless economy, any transaction you are doing, it is leaving a digital trail. So black money, all these things also reduces to a certain extent, because all of your money is tracked to a certain extent. So, but now when people will go back to cash, other problems, 10 years back problem will come to the fore. So the government wants to find a sustainable way to pay for UPI, but charging users could make digital payment less attractive and people can move towards cash. That's what this article is talking about. So yeah, let's see how things unfold. But anything for our government, right? So yeah, the unified pay. Now, I think Apex Night yesterday told that, sir, keep mains question at the end. Apex, generally mains questions are associated with articles. You have to see which article deserve a mains question. So if it is at the second, if we keep it at the end, you may have forgotten the article altogether. So that's why we keep it with the article. Will complete with Visa, Master. Exactly. UPI has transformed the architecture of digital payment in India. Discuss how UPI differs from traditional mobile wallets and examine its significance for India's digital economy. Here you will talk about how earlier in mobile wallets, you're transferring money from your bank account. All these things are not needed. You can directly, in UPI, you don't need to, put money in the mobile wallets and all. You can directly do transactions. Different banks are, connected there. Everything is swifter, smart, means faster, and there is no extra payment which you have to give right now, and things can change now. Significance for India's digital economy. It is very good if you want to control black money, if you want to control corruption, because all these digital money, they leave a trail. But will it change for the worse now? We don't know. We have to see. So all these things you have to talk about. Reduce dependence on stored value wallets, financial inclusion, formalization of transaction. Formalization means everything is leaving a trail. You can track it. Okay, sir. See this question, guys. This is based on the previous article which we had done. Consider the following statement regarding the strategic significance of the three countries involved. Saudi Arabia is a major oil producing country in the Persian Gulf region. Pakistan is a nuclear armed country. Turkey, I like the name Turkey, just like I like the name Gurgaon earlier. Gurugram, it's fine. So, what is the answer, guys? Chepandis. Apex has given the answer. GYN has given the answer. Cloud Shinobi has given the answer. Saudi Arabia is a major oil producing country in the Persian Gulf region. That is correct, right? Pakistan is a nuclear armed country. That is also correct. Turkey is a member of NATO. That is also correct. So all statements are correct and the answer is D. D for dog. Who stated D? Apex given, GYN, all the statements are correct. Cloud Shinobi, they have given the answer D. if we see the next question, guys, asked in 2017 based on this article, which one of the following is the most likely consequence of implementing the Unified Payment Interface UPI? Mobile wallets will not be necessary for online payments. Digital currency will totally replace. Again, be on the lookout for extreme statements. Totally replace this and that. FDI inflows will drastically increase. Direct transfer of subsidies to poor people will become very effective. What do you think is the answer of this? You have to choose, always choose the best option. Sometimes there will be some ambiguity. So you have to choose the best option, and then you have to look at what UPSC gave as the answer, because there was a question, right to vote. What is a right to vote? Constitutional right, legal right, statutory, and this and that. So there were two options which are equally correct, but then we went with what UPSC said, that is right to vote is a constitutional right. So here, most likely consequence, mobile wallets will not be necessary for online payment. You don't need to store your money in different wallets. You can directly do transactions between, different bank accounts using UPI. So the answer is A, as stated by Shinobi, Jivayan and Apex Knight. Very good here. Like, share and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. Next article, again an editorial, GS2IR International Relation, G. Venkatraman, Changing of India-US Partnership. Now, this article is talking about earlier India and US, enemy of your enemy is your friend. So there was a particular convergence, and like US did not like China, India did not like China, and that became a major reason why India-US came closer. In our time, there was a song, Paas aane lage zara zara, hum bhi unhe chahne lage zara zara. That means somebody's coming closer, closer. There is an English song also. So the guys, G. Venkatraman sir is saying that now things have changed because Trump is there at the dispensation, and Trump believes in transactional relationship. Transactional relationship means quid pro quo. Quid pro quo means, if I am giving you something, what are you giving me in return? And that's why when he came to power, he was like, oh my God, India has such a huge trade surplus with US. India is exporting more to US than importing. And he does not like that because he himself was a businessman. So G. Venkatraman sir is saying that this whole enemy of enemy is my friend thing will not hold now. Something else has to be done in different ways. And things has to go beyond that. So there is a very interesting phrase which he has used. See, the relationship is moving from strategic convergence to strategic complementarity. Strategic convergence means, yes, our enemy was common, China, but now that will not suffice. If we want good relation with US, we have to move towards strategic complementarity. Means we have to focus like critical technologies. There is a Pax Silica initiative, which is currently in news. Anybody has any idea about Pax Silica? Do you people remember what is Pax Silica? Anybody, if you have, please write it in the comment section. So the point is, let's move beyond this strategic convergence towards strategic complementarity. And according to the author of this editorial, this is not actually bad. If we focus on defense, if we focus on Quad relationship, Quad, 4 countries, J-US, focus on the capital letters, Japan, Australia, India, and then USA. Japan, although many people are also saying that US is not paying proper attention to Quad countries, but there are talks at different levels which are going on. Things don't always remain the same, but yes, we have to move towards strategic complementarity only. Hating China or China being the common enemy is not going to help matter. Defense critical technologies, Pax Silica. UPSC has asked questions, flexible realism. Very good, Shinobi. So Pax Silica is critical minerals. You talk about critical minerals, you talk about rare earth minerals, you talk about lithium, which is used in electric vehicles, you talk about, there are other elements also. So China is very good. It's not like China only has these critical minerals and rare earth minerals, but China is very good in processing them. If you process them, then only you can use them in a proper manner. And there was too much dependency on China when it comes to these critical minerals and other critical technologies. That's why government means US came up with this Pax Silica initiative so that we reduce our reliance on China and we diversify our sources. But it's not like only China has that capability. It's that China has assembled different kind of attributes. There are different countries in like Far East, in Japan, who are good in different aspects of critical technologies. Then in West Asia, they have some raw materials. Then in South America, you have something else. So let's all come together. That is the basic initiative of Pax Silica. Although Pax Silica mostly have developed country, India is one of the few developing countries of that. But we will talk about Pax Silica later on. The article is talking about these are the areas where we have to converge on, and this is basically not convergence, complementarity. I will provide you one, so you also have to provide something else. Semiconductor AI, very good here, Apex. So hope you are understanding what this article is talking about. Trump new tariff. He is a tariff man. Many people tell him as a tariff man. He will see how much trade surplus deficit US is having with different countries. And this whole concept is called as flexible realism, as Cloud Shinobi is saying. And earlier both countries were concerned about China rise, but now Trump is not merely concerned with that. He wants something more from India. And for that, India has to grow and grow fast. That's what this article is saying. What can India contribute to us? And this is the basic philosophy behind quid pro quo. If I do something for you, you also have to do something for me in return. That's the basic rule via which I think every one of us lives. So India should continue working with US. You can see here Global South. Now Global South is a term, a phrase which is given for countries in southern hemisphere, which are basically developing or less developed, like in South America, in Africa, in Asia. Global South, Global North, European countries and all, which are predominantly very developed, not like all of them, but yeah. Global South, Global North, South-North divide or North-South divide, they talk about it. So this is called multi-alignment and strategic autonomy. Article is saying that let's develop relationship with everyone. We have to maintain our strategic autonomy. Let's move from strategic convergence to strategic complementarity. All these things have to be done. So India should not depend on America's rivalry with China. We have to build our own strength, and then US and other countries will respect us more. And we need that respect sooner rather than later. We have that respect. Modi sir is already a Vishwaguru, but yeah, we will gain some more respect and some more leverage over other countries. Have a look at this question, guys. So with reference to UPI, consider the following statement. UPI enables direct transfer of money between bank accounts. UPI necessarily requires the user to maintain a balance in a separate digital wallet. UPI transaction can be initiated using QR codes. Use option elimination. Shinobi has given the answer. Apex Knight has given the answer. UPI enables direct transfer of money between bank account. That is correct. So you eliminate C option. You are left with A, B, and D. Oh my God, UPPP. UPI necessarily requires. Now, this is the thing which we're talking about. Even UPSC PYQ 2017. You don't need to keep your money in any separate digital wallet. Do the direct transaction. So that means second is wrong. Now you're left with A and B. Check the third one. UPI transaction can be initiated. Generally, the statements which have can as the option, the ambit becomes very large. And yes, we can initiate it using QR codes. Sometimes you don't want to share the number. You just share the QR code. So the answer is A, 1 and 3 only. Very good. Shinobi, Apex Knight, Jivayan, Malini. A is the answer, Malini. Hope you understood why. Consider the following as possible components of India's strategic autonomy. Now, strategic autonomy. Think, like use some of your static knowledge. What do you think any country's strategic autonomy is? Ability to take independent foreign policy decisions, making decisions according to India's own national interests, maintaining equal distance from all major powers. What do you think is a strategic autonomy rather? One and two only, 1 and 3 only, D 1, 2 and 3. Shinobi has given the answer for Senator Lindsey Graham. Who is Senator Lindsey Graham, and in which context, Apex, you are saying this particular thing? So Shinobi, Jiva and Apex, they have given the answer. Yes, strategic autonomy is ability to take independent foreign policy decisions. So that is correct. Now you're left with A, C and D. Making decision according to India's own national interest, that is also strategic autonomy. So second is also correct. Now you're left with A and D. Check the third one. Maintaining, it's up to us. That is autonomy, right? If we feel like Russia is contributing more to our interest, we will be a little bit more closer to Russia, a little less closer to US, a little bit more closer to Japan. It's totally up to us. If we maintain equal distance from all major powers, then it's not autonomy. Autonomy means we can do whatever we want to do, right? Whether equal or unequal, that's totally up to us. So the answer is A, 1 and 2. It's all about our interest. If somebody is helping us more, if somebody is an all-weather friend, like it is said that during Kargil war, US did not allow us to use their GPS, global positioning system, via which you can track, like, global positioning system, navigation system. And that's why we came up with our own IR and SS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, which is also known as NAVIC. We wanted to make our own regional navigation system. So you cannot rely on US. Hope you are understanding. On the other hand, when you talk about Russia or even the erstwhile USSR, more often than not, they have supported us. So again, it's not maintaining equal distance. It's maintaining distance as much as we deem fit, so to say. So the answer is A, 1 and 2 only. Oh, okay. Page 6, GS3 space. Astrobase unveils India's first 800 kilonewton rocket engine. Now, here what you have to understand. First of all, kilonewton, Newton, unit of force. And there'll be terms here in this. And anything first, we keep on talking about it. Anything first is very important. Your first love, your first crush, anything. So first private 800 kilonewton rocket engine, private, built by a private company. So what are the terms which we have to keep in mind? Fuel, oxidizer. There are terms which we have to understand. So Astrobase, it is a Bangalore-based space company, and they have made this particular rocket engine 800 kilonewton called Everest. They can ask you, Everest has been built by what? India's first privately developed FFSC full flow stage combustion engine. Now what is the meaning of this FFSC? It gives you more thrust, and here fuel and oxidizer are used more efficiently. Let's go one by one. You don't have to do PhD here. Let's try to understand. Everest, here they use LOX and methane. Now methane is the fuel. Methane, CH4, is the fuel. LOX is an oxidizer. What is an oxidizer? So let's say you have a fuel. Any fuel you have, it needs oxygen to burn, right? So somebody has to provide that oxygen. That somebody which provides oxygen is known as oxidizer. So in this particular Everest, this rocket engine, fuel is methane and oxidizer is LOX, that is liquid oxygen. So remember these terms, they're actually important. Cool. And full flow stage combustion means the quality, the thrust here is much higher. Now what is thrust? Again, a third term which you are seeing in the context of combustion engine and these rocket engine. Thrust is, like your rocket engine, it will give an upward push to the rocket so that it can go at a faster rate. That upward push by the engine is called as thrust. And the thrust of this FFCC engine is, or FFSC engine is, much higher. Fuel and oxidizer are used in a much efficient manner. Astrobase is building the complete launch system. Now this is a two-stage fuel, you can say, Everest 800 kilonewton rocket engine. Like I will tell you, our like PSLV and GSLV launch vehicles, polar satellite launch vehicle and geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. There, when you talk about these propellant, in PSLV you have solid liquid, solid propellant and liquid propellant, solid propellant and liquid propellant. In the case of GSLV, you have solid, liquid and cryogenic. Again, these are fuel and oxidizer. You don't have to do PhD. Just do a comparative analysis. PSLV, polar satellite launch vehicle, you have solid, fuel or oxidizer, liquid fuel or oxidizer, solid fuel oxidizer, liquid fuel or oxidizer. In the case of GSLV, solid, liquid, cryogenic. On the other hand, in the case of Everest, this rocket engine, you have liquid oxygen and methane. Methane is the fuel, liquid oxygen is the oxidizer. So remember these terms, they're actually important. Cool. Now, we'll solve some question, you will understand these terms in a much better manner. So have a look at this question. Which of the following best captures the central policy dilemma concerning UPI charges? Again, based on the previous article. Choose the best option, guys. This whole UPI transaction, it will be charged and all. What do you think is the best option here? Balancing the financial sustainability of the payment ecosystem with affordable digital payments, choosing between UPI and foreign currencies, deciding whether India should abolish oh my God, this just become too extreme, right? Replacing all digital payments with physical currency. What is the dilemma? Dilemma means there are two conflicting arguments and government is confused between them. There has to be a balance between those arguments. So GYN or Shinobi, GYN, Apex Knight, Shivram, all of you have given the answer. Balancing the financial sustainability of the payment ecosystem with affordable digital payment. Very good here. Let's have a look at this question. This will give you more clarity on that fuel oxidizer and all of those things. So you have rocket engine component and you have meaning. Fuel oxidizer thrust LOX, and the meaning, substance that provide energy through combustion, substance that support combustion, force produced to propel the rocket, LOX, liquid oxygen. Which of the pairs given above are correctly matched? Okay, so Shinobi, GYN, Apex, all of you have given the answer. Fuel, substance that provide energy through combustion. So in this scenario, this whole Everest rocket engine, what was the fuel, guys? Can you people tell me in the comment section? What was the fuel? So first is correct. Oxidizer, substance that support combustion. Again, in this Everest private made rocket engine, what was the oxidizer? The statement is correct. Thrust, force produced to propel the rocket. That is also correct. LOX, liquid oxygen, the full form LOX. All of them are correct. So the answer is D, 1, 2, 3, 4, as stated by Shinobi, GYN, Apex, Malini, Shivram. Guys, fuel oxidizer in the current Everest rocket engine made by a private company, first such rocket engine. What was the fuel? What was the oxidizer, guys? Anybody? Fuel was methane, right? And oxidizer was this LOX. If you go back again, revise these things, do remember these things. Again, the more you see this, the more you'll be able to remember it. They can ask you. So LOX is the oxidizer, methane is the fuel. Yesterday also we talked about methane when we were talking about biogas and natural gas. Okay. So now, page 8, editorial GST economy. Yes, yesterday, day before yesterday. Today is what day? Today is 8th August, right? So on 6th August, we talked about this RBI monetary policy and how they have kept repo rate at 5.25%. So in that regard, this editorial has been written that it is good, but the inflation currently is hovering in 4.3% range. Monetary Policy Committee, RBI's Monetary Policy Committee, they have a target that you have to keep inflation within 4 plus minus 2% target, that is 2 to 6% target. That is the aim of Monetary Policy Committee. They have to keep inflation within this range. Now, why we want inflation? People are like, inflation, more money chasing fewer goods, you have to spend more money, it erodes the purchasing power of your currency. Then what is, it's methane, CH4. CH4 is fuel, LOX is oxidizer. Very good, GYN. So the point here is, why do we need inflation? Because we have discussed this day before yesterday also. Phillips curve. We need some amount of inflation. Phillips curve establishes a inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment. So if inflation increases, unemployment decreases. And how does that happen? That if inflation increases, unemployment decreases, because if the price of goods rises, then what happens? Companies, they have more incentive to produce more goods. If they have more incentive to produce more goods, they will employ more people. So that's why you need to have certain amount of inflation. You shouldn't be always, aiming for inflation below 0%. Now, there are other terms also, guys, which are important. Inflation, deflation, disinflation, stagflation, reflation, skewflation, hyperinflation. All these terms you have to keep in mind. Inflation, increase in prices. Inflation is increase in the general level of prices. Deflation is decrease in the general level of prices. Then you have UPSC has asked PYQs on these terms, guys, so please don't make mistake here. Disinflation is prices are increasing, but the rate of inflation is lower. So let's say earlier the price of something was 100 rupees, then it increased to 120 rupees. In this scenario, inflation rate is 20%. But if it again increases to 132, here the percentage of inflation is 10%. So this whole scenario is disinflation. Disinflation means prices will increase, but at a lower rate. Inflation is happening, but at a lower rate. Guys, did you people understand disinflation? It is important. Happening, but at a lower rate. Many people get confused. Solve those PYQs which UPSC is asked on inflation, deflation and disinflation. Disinflation, Apex, GYN, Shivram, Malini and other people. Are you understanding disinflation? Then you have skewflation. Skewflation means prices of some products are increasing and prices of some products are decreasing. Some prices increasing, some decreasing. Skewflation. Then you have hyperinflation. Hyperinflation means very high level of inflation. Very high inflation. Then what else? Then you have reflation. There is another concept which is called as reflation. Reflation is what? We have just seen, according to Phillips curve, there is an inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment. When inflation increases, unemployment decreases because producers have more incentive to sell. So, produce more goods. So, reflation is intentional inflation. Intentional means government intentionally brought inflation. And what are the tools to intentionally bring inflation? These are the tools which you are seeing. RBI keeping repo rate unchanged or decreasing. If RBI decrease the repo rate is the rate at which banks borrow money from RBI. So if RBI decrease the repo rate, banks have more incentive to borrow more money from RBI. If they are borrowing more money, they will pump more money in the economy. Then what will happen? More money is chasing fewer or constant number of goods. So if more money is chasing fewer or constant number of goods, prices of goods will rise. So then inflation will increase. If they have to decrease inflation, they will increase the repo rate, because if they increase the repo rate, banks will borrow less from RBI. There will be less money circulation in the economy, less money chasing same number of goods, constant number of goods or more number of goods. That will lead to decrease in the prices of goods. That will lead to deflation. So the things are, that's how they do intentional inflation. If they have to do reflation, why are they doing intentional inflation? Because they want to curb unemployment. Right now for government, curbing unemployment is more important than curbing inflation. Then they intentionally bring inflation, and that whole phenomena is known as reflation. Cool. So this is reflation. Inflation, deflation, disinflation, skewflation, hyperflation, reflation. Then there is something called as stagflation. Stagflation is what? Stagflation is an exceptional scenario, guys, when normal law of economics fail. Exceptional scenario. What is normal law of economics? Normal law of economics is Phillips curve. One of the normal laws, inflation increases, unemployment decreases. But in the stagflation scenario, your inflation will also increase, your unemployment will also increase, your GDP will be stagnant. So it's the worst case scenario. No country wants to be in a stagflation scenario because nobody knows how to get rid of it or come out of it, So it's a very bad scenario where countries dread it. They don't want to be here because normal law of economics is not working here. So these terms, they are actually very important. So again, inflation has increased to 4.38%. You can see all the terms, and RBI is worried about geopolitical tension in Black Sea. Like right now, we are taking a lot of oil from Russia, and Russia, send that oil. Reflation occurs during recovery period of an economy after depression. Very good, Tenu. So Tenu has said something very interesting. Cool. So hope you are understanding, like I was telling you about why we are worried. Right now we are bringing a lot of oil from Russia through Black Sea, and things are happening in Black Sea. I even made a video, current affair video, which will come today. You can see things are happening in Black Sea. Our seafarers, they died in Black Sea. India has second largest seafarers in the world after Philippines. And many of these seafarers, they died. Ukraine is attacking Russian oil post around Black Sea. So our oil is getting impacted, what amount of oil which is coming from Russia. So all these factors, geopolitical tensions, risk around Strait of Hormuz, the Iran issue, Iran-US crisis, because of which RBI is vigilant. And that's why day before yesterday, we talked about RBI acquiring a neutral policy. They are waiting and watching because they want to see how things develop in the future. So wait and watch approach. RBI is balancing growth and inflation. It is keeping interest rates unchanged for now. Guys, there is a homework for you people. We talked about Phillips curve. You read about, because homework should be there, you read about Lorentz curve. You read about Kuznets curve. Lorentz curve, Kuznets curve, Lafar curve. These are important curves and they will tell you a lot. And then you will encounter a phrase called Gini coefficient. We'll talk about all these things when they come, and they will be coming. But right now, this is like these things we have to keep in mind. Okay, so let's have a look at this MCQ 10. Before we have a look at this and MCQ 10, let me tell you something about Lafar curve. So Lafar curve establishes relationship between, if I'm not wrong, tax revenue and tax rate. These curves are important, guys. Tax revenue, tax rate. So what is the basic rationale of Lafar curve? That generally what happens, government increases tax rate in the belief that tax revenue will increase. But if you increase tax rate, so tax revenue will increase up to a certain point and then tax revenue will start decreasing. So let's say this is tax rate graph and this is tax rate. Let's write rate here, and this is tax revenue graph. So if you see this X and Y curve, so if the tax rate is increased, tax revenue will improve to a certain point or increase to a certain point, and then it will start decreasing. Why? Because if you charge people a lot of tax, 30%, 40%, then what will happen? They will go to tax heaven. This tax heaven is HAVEN heaven, guys. It is not HEAVEN. Heaven countries where the tax rate is almost equal to 0%. They will go to Monte Carlo, Monaco, where many tennis players stay. They will go to, people have started shifting to UAE and all. Sanjay Dutt, he has a house in UAE. Many people, even I think there is Madhavan sir, who talks so much about India but stays in UAE. Vivek Oberoi stays in UAE. Why? Maybe one of these reasons is this. They are basically like not exactly tax heaven, but they're very close to being called a tax heaven. Almost 0% tax rate, especially Monte Carlo, Monaco, where many tennis players, Novak Djokovic, all these players. I hope you have seen tennis players, guys. Okay, so tax revenue, tax rate. Beyond a certain tax rate, people, what they will start doing? They will go to tax haven countries. Let's say you tax me more, 30%, 40%. I will leave my job. I will go to my, village and I will do farming there. At least I have to pay zero tax. I am happy whatever I'm earning. If I earn more and you take all of my money as tax, why will I earn and, work hard for 12 or 13 hours? Why? So again, guys, Jivan has given the answer for 10th question. Guys, are you understanding Lafar curve? What is Lafar curve? Same way. We will talk about other curves also, Lorentz and Kuznets curve and all. But for now, these many curves are enough. Let's have a look at this question now. MCQ 10, guys. Everest rocket engine has been developed by a private, and again, if you have any queries related to anything, I keep on telling why we have live classes. Yes, for having interactions, doubts and all these things, like these questions discussion. But at the same time, we are also having these classes so that we can cater to your doubts, any queries related to whatever you are preparing, what source you should refer to and all. Any query, feel free to write it. Tripti has given the answer. So, has been developed by a private Indian space company, uses methane as the fuel and liquid oxygen as the oxidizer, has a thrust of 800 kilonewton, uses a full flow staged combustion cycle. Okay. MCQ 11. Which of the following best describes a mobile wallet? What according to you is a mobile wallet? Very good, here. Tripti, Malini, Cloud Shinobi, Apex, Jiva, and all of you have given the answer. What is a mobile wallet, guys? Chepandis, Chepu Telsu Ledu Kadu. That means, do tell me. Yesterday, one of my students, he messaged me that he cleared, UPSC CAPF AC Assistant Commandant CAPF exam. So all these messages and all, they make you so happy. So you people also clear it and make me happy, and then send messages and tell people how me, StudyIQ, how they are helping you in clearing your exams and all. So Tripti has given the answer for 11th question. What is a mobile wallet? A system that exclusively transfer money between two central bank accounts, physical bank branch. Choose the best option, guys. Always in these kind of questions, you have to choose the best option. Tripti Jeevan Shinobi, Apex Knight, Shivram Kushwaha, all of you have given the answer. Okay, cool. Take question number 10 and 11. As always, we will discuss it in the next class. And in the meantime, like, share and subscribe. Any queries, any doubts, guys? If you don't have, and again, this I keep telling to people, you are your own competition. Just try to be better than what you were yesterday. Don't keep comparing with this people and that people. Everybody has their own trajectory. Maybe somebody achieved so much things at 25 only, but he died at 50. Then what else? Again, you may say, sir, what is the objective of life then, sir, when we have to die eventually? That we don't know. What is the objective of life? But till the time you are alive, keep doing something substantial, you know. Keep making your life better and better with each passing day, guys. Okay. Any queries, guys? Or shall I be go or gone then? Shall I say thank you? No queries? Nothing? Okay, sir. Then I will see you people. When I will see you people? I will see you people on Monday. Today is Saturday, right? Cool. Enjoy the weekend. Revise all the stuff. Yeah. See you soon, everyone. Take care. Be blessed. Tata. Bye-bye.